for this shit. Nigga, I prayed for this shit. Roll a handmade, it's a Swiss. Roast on my plate, steak of fish. At the round table, it's a big dish. Niggas ain't able, ain't on the list. Hermes Gator, my name on the list. Go AP, it's the same color Chris. Don't play with my name.
Yo. What's going on, everybody? How we doing? Welcome back to another live stream. Now, I've got a pretty interesting one for you guys today. We are going to be coming up with a new app idea. What up, Notorious? Welcome. Come in. So here's the situation. Basically, we've submitted our app to the Solana Dapp store, the app that we've been pretty much working on for the past 2-3 weeks. Now, we're just waiting on the team to get back to us. So today I want to do something a little different. I'm pretty excited, but let's come up with a completely new idea from scratch. And let's build it and let's launch it. And I want to kind of do like a mini challenge within this series where we just build something like relatively small that we can monetize. And let's see if we can get our first sale within like the first week. That's kind of the goal of this challenge. So let me show you what I've got planned for this stream. So for those wondering, yes, this is the Road to 100K live stream. If you're new here, welcome. No, this is not clickbait. I did make 35,000-ish in my first 21 days. You can see it right here. Boom, there you go. Show this once, so don't need to talk about it again. But I live stream everything, so you can look back, you can see how I did it. It's all out in the open. Building in public. It's the new meta, guys. But basically, this is the plan. So let me get all my lame ass thumbnails out the way. We're doing a 7-day app challenge. Now, I say app, that could be web app, that could be mobile app, whatever. But the whole point of today's live stream is to really lock in on what the idea is. I want to come up with a list of app ideas. I want to research the market size. I want to think about, have a very real conversation about the difficulty of building the app. Sometimes there's scope creep, and when you think of a simple idea, it ends up getting harder and harder and harder. So I really want to focus and emphasize the simplicity part because this is a 7-day challenge. We can't build anything crazy. You know what I mean? I want to look at the competitors. If there are other, apps that are doing something similar, what's the market size? What are they doing that works? I always think competitors is a good thing because in business, I don't think you're trying to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? Like you just want to stick to what works. And, if girls' lipstick liner that's pink starts going crazy, why not start selling that? You know what I mean? I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel and come up with a completely new revolutionary product. You can always just see what's doing well and, have your own spin on it, whether that's through the branding, through the messaging, through the shape of the product, the design of the product. There's so many different ways you can differentiate. And yeah, I think competitors is a very good sign that you're in the right place, because if they're able to profit off of it, chances are you can too. And then lastly, writing the product requirements document. And basically, I'm just going to, write down, if it's like, depending on what it is, kind of just, I'm calling it product requirements document, but it's probably more just like a really long prompt. And we're just going to plan it out, And you know what, maybe that's a fourth one, but it's just planning mode with Claude Code. And that's kind of what I want to do today. Like, I don't even know if we're going to get to the actual building of the app, because I feel like there's so much work just in here alone that it'll probably take up the entire video. Now, yeah, I feel like a lot of people rush into builds and they go hard, and you know, I feel like you always got to make sure you do this step right, because if you don't do this step right, then you know, you might end up going down the way. You might end up going down the wrong path. What up, Gel Gum? How we doing? What up, Jimmy? How we doing? Nothorious, what's good? So first things first, coming up with a list of app ideas. Now I have a few, and I'm kind of just gonna break them down live, I guess, and kind of see where my head's at. I'm not really gonna look at chat too much because I don't want you guys to influence me. I kind of just want to get into like a bit of a flow state rhythm and see where it takes me. But yeah, coming up with a list of app ideas. Now first, and I'm kind of going to use this document for everything. And, you know, maybe this could be like a bit of a, I don't know, thing that I can share with you guys, if that's something you guys might find useful. If there's any, I guess, documentation or anything I use during this video that you guys might find useful, obviously let me know and I'll share it whether that's in the description or whatever. But first things first, coming up with a list of app ideas. Now, I've got a few, and the first one is obviously recently part of my success, and it's part, and if you've been watching the live stream, you know that a big chunk of this money that we made wasn't actually even through revenue. It wasn't even through, you know, making an app. It wasn't even through, not making an app. It wasn't even through selling my app. It wasn't through revenue. It wasn't through users. It was literally because I qualified for an airdrop, because I launched my app on the Solana mobile Dapp store. Now, if you go to the Solana mobile app, and you know, this is kind of like a trend that I'm seeing right now, but every single user that had one of these mobile devices actually got a payout. And I can even show you, like, if we open up Visor. So this is my mobile that I'm screen recording right now. And if you actually look, so this is a Solana mobile seeker, okay? And if you go into wallet, they actually have a tracking tab. Now, the reason that they have this is so they can actually track your activity. And obviously I wasn't very, I guess, active, so my tracking isn't all that amazing, as you can see. But even because of that, I still got a 40,000 seeker airdrop just as an active user, okay? So my theory right now is that there are 100,000 users on this device who have basically gotten a stimmy check, okay? They've basically gotten a paycheck of a shit ton of seeker. And this 40,000 seeker that you see on the screen, if we were to just go and look at the seeker price right now, and we were to convert this into dollars, just as for using this mobile device as a user, I got about $1,100 US, okay? Now this was the second lowest allocation. The highest allocation got 750. Now that would have required you to be active every single day. I don't know how. It was like literally for power users. There was only like 100 people that would have received that allocation. And then I think the second highest was 120,000. So, and a good chunk of people got that, right? which is about 3,500 right now. So my theory is that all the users on the Solana mobile Dapp store right now are loaded. They've got a bunch of cash sitting in their Solana mobile devices. And I don't think there's many apps out there right now that are optimized for the Seeker token to be spent. And what I mean by this is, let's say you go to a mobile app, and let's even do it right now live. So I go to a mobile app. Let's say I pick, what could I pick? So these are all apps you can see. What's one that I could spend on? I mean, this might work. Let's see. So we got Tensor here, right? Which is a NFT marketplace. And if you were to click on one of these and you were to buy it, you can see that it's priced in Solana, okay? And 9 times out of 10, everything's kind of priced in either Solana or US dollars, okay? So if you were to buy one of these NFTs, it would be priced in Solana, okay? And same with all these apps here. If you were to actually use these apps, we can even go on OR. You'll see that they use Solana. Even up here, you can see right here at the top, right here, it's priced in Solana. Come down here, you want to play, it's in Solana, right? So there is no, obviously users could convert their Seeker token into Solana if they wanted to, but that's instantly a barrier and an obstacle that will reduce people wanting to do that. Does that make sense? People will always go for the most easiest and laziest option, okay? And so I think there is opportunity for some sort of app where the Seeker token is like the main kind of currency within the app. And you can use the Seeker token, and the app is purely branded and built around this Seeker token. Now, the app idea that I came up with, and obviously we're short on time, so we can't really go too crazy, but I was thinking we could do paper, Seeker, rock. Seeker's rock, which is essentially a paper, scissors, rock parody. Now, hear me out. Users wager their Seeker and play paper, scissors, rock with others and see who wins. It's literally that simple. I'm thinking we could build some sort of wagering game where, let's say you put up 5 Seeker tokens and the person on the other end also puts up 5 Seeker tokens. You play paper, scissors, rock, best of 3 maybe, and whoever wins gets the pot. Super simple idea. I think could potentially have some legs. Oh, my screen's not showing. Damn. So you're telling me I just showed you guys all of that without my screen showing? Oh, god damn it. Yeah, let me show you guys again. All right, so basically what I was showing earlier is we have this $40,000 Seeker allocation, right? And you can kind of see that the Seeker mobile device, and that's what I'm using right now, okay? I'm using the Seeker mobile device, tracks the user, and based off of the user's, engagement to the mobile device, they'll get an allocation, right? And what I was showing on the screen earlier was that you could go to any app and everything is priced in Solana or US dollars. So if I was to go here and let's say I wanted to buy this. This is an NFT marketplace, by the way. You can see it's priced in Solana, okay? This little logo here is basically the Solana logo. So you just know it's priced in Solana. Another example, if you went in here, and this is literally every app, by the way. I'm just picking the ones that I'm familiar with. here, even to play this, you need to be priced in Solana, right? Everything's priced in Solana or US dollars. So what I'm trying to say is that as a user, we literally got this fat airdrop, okay? I barely use this mobile device. I probably spent like maybe 2 days a week on it max. And if you go here, you can see that my allocation as a user is worth $1,100, okay? So this tells me, and this was one of the lower allocations, right? That like the second highest allocation was 120, which I know a lot of users got because I was in the Discord, everyone was posting their screenshots of the allocation, and 120 was popping up quite a bit. So I have a theory that these guys have airdropped everyone a Seeker, and everyone's just got holding their Seeker tokens right now with nothing to really spend it on, okay? Now you can see Solana's just come out with an announcement here, which is pretty interesting. For a limited time, 50% off the Solana Seeker when you pay with the Seeker token itself, which is quite interesting. Like there you go. There's the first kind of use case with Seeker, you can see. And I have a theory where if there's not really any kind of apps, let's actually have a look. So if I was to just search up Seeker, you can see there's not really anything here. Like, I feel like there's nothing really to promote the Seeker token itself. Like, see, there's no apps really branded towards the Seeker token. So my theory is that if people will always go for the laziest, easiest option. So if we create something for users to spend the native Seeker token on, and we brand the app Seeker related, we do all of that, I feel like we've got a solid app idea because the Seeker community is pretty strong. And obviously they're all pretty rich now because they've all gotten this Seeker airdrop. But they don't want to convert their Seeker into Solana. They don't want to convert their Seeker into USD. So this is my idea. Paper Seekers rock. Let me know. The name is optional, by the way. Like, this is just what I came up with on the spot. Paper Seekers rock. It could just be Paper Scissors Rock. But I want to brand it Seekery. And yeah, users wager their Seeker and play Paper Scissors Rock with others and see who wins. It's literally super simple app idea. Again, this is a 7-day app challenge. We only have 7 days to build and launch the app. So this is the first idea. I think it's a pretty good idea. And if we were to look into, I guess, the market, I know these guys had, I actually always Thoros, I've always wanted to make an auto battler, but that's already increasing complexity. Because the auto battler that I have in my mind, like Super Auto Pets, for example, is like pretty complicated. Especially for a 7-day build. So if we were to go down, they made a really interesting post. So we have a nice statistic here. Over 49% of seekers who claim Seeker are staking to earn rewards. Now, what does this mean? This basically means, and this was within the first 48 hours of the token going live. So it might be higher now. But what they're basically trying to say is everyone that claimed this allocation, they would have been able to stake it. And you can see it's staked right here. And this basically means that they didn't sell their tokens and they believe in the long-term vision. So this kind of tells us, okay, everyone that claimed the token, 50% of them are still holding, at least 50%. So that's a good indicator. Okay, so we know now, and I'm probably going to just take a screenshot of this because this is part of the market research, right? This is giving us an idea of what our market size is. So we know 49% of seekers who claim Seeker are staking to earn rewards. Now, let's see what else we can find. They made a post here. Here, this one. Seeker launches, and here. The first ever Seeker season is concluded. So this is our competitors, right? We have 265 apps. Of that, 9 million transactions and $2.6 billion in volume. Over 100,000 users that participated. So this is a really interesting line right here. So we can kind of see, and I reckon the volume would have spiked after the airdrop as well. So that's good. But we kind of see now, I think these are our two kind of main points. We can also use my All Miner app as an example. When I launched the All Miner app, we can have a look at how many reviews the app has gotten since, which gives us a good indication of, I guess, how many users we received from launching on this app store. So of that, we've got 265 reviews. 256 reviews. So launched the All Miner app, and within 1 month received 256 reviews. Now this is this is personal, right? Personal experience. So overall, I don't really like this font. Can we change it? Let's go to like Inter. Bold. So this is my first, I guess, idea. And this is just kind of a simple, I can look at it, understand, okay, this is what this is. Paper Seekers rock. Users wager their Seeker and play. And I guess one more thing I could add is my thesis, which I shared. So it could be idea. And next would be thesis. So my thesis is that users received a large airdrop of the Seeker token, and they currently don't have any Seeker specific branded apps to spend their Seeker allocation on. Solana is the native token for every app on their store. So what if we created an app where Seeker was the native token? So this is our thesis done. And this is our idea. All right, that's our first idea. Done. Boom. And what this is kind of doing, for me at least, and what I like to do, and obviously this might not be the most optimal method to come up with ideas and explore options, but what I like to do is I like to just write everything down really quickly of all the ideas in my head, and then what I'm going to do after I've written everything down is kind of compare them to each other. So I don't want to go super, super deep into anything. I just want to kind of have a surface level. Okay, this is what it is. Last season they had 265 apps, 9 million transactions, 2.5 billion in volume. I launched my own app on their app store. It got 256 reviews within a month. So that it's like the signs are good to continue building on Seeker. Let me put it that way. So that's our first app idea. Now, app idea number 2 is bookmark to audio. All right, so, and I'm kind of just shooting out all my ideas right now. And let me know if you guys think it's a bit lame. But the whole concept is, I don't know who else is like terminally ill and terminally live on X, but I'm on X like 24/7. Basically addicted to this app. And recently X actually launched a competition. It is, I believe, this one right here. The Ultimate Guide to Articles on X. Now, ever since they launched this competition, your feed is just completely flooded with articles, okay? There's articles left, right. And a major issue that I've found with this new kind of market that has arisen is that if you actually were to click on like this one, for example, this is like probably the most successful article to date on X. 173 million views, right? If you scroll down and look at the statistics, you'll see a key difference right here. Look at that. So you have 8,500 comments, 55,000 retweets, 283,000 likes, 765,000 bookmarks. Now, this is kind of being memed as like an epidemic within the Twitter community, right? Because what we're starting to realize is a lot of people feel like they need to bookmark something, but no one ever actually checks their bookmarks. It's a very common thing to like feel productive so you save something for later, and like it kind of feeds something in your brain where you're like, okay, I actually kind of did something productive because I'm going to save this and I'm going to read it later, but you never actually end up reading it later. So I feel like there's this issue with X right now, and it's a fairly new market because when was this article written? This X competition itself came out on the 16th of January. So it's currently 27th, so 11 days ago, right? And I think there's a bit of an issue here where so many people want to read the article, but they don't find the time to read it. So what I'm thinking is, and I'm coining this idea, bookmark to audio. So the whole concept of this idea is so the idea is that users bookmark an article and it automatically gets converted into an audio using text-to-speech AI software that they can listen to later. That's basically the idea. So I think, creating an app that connects to your X, and every time you bookmark something, it automatically converts it into a audio for you to listen to later. So obviously audiobooks are a huge thing. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I think there's a market for this. And this kind of validates my idea entirely, is the fact that there's 765,000 bookmarks, which is basically 3x the amount of likes. And what further validated this idea for me was this one guy, Kakashi, this guy, right? Now this guy posts a lot, so I'm going to try and find it. Let me see if I can. Audio. maybe I can't. Obviously, it's going to come up with Kakashi from Naruto. But basically, he made this audio, right? Yeah, I'm going to find it in media. It is... And this is part of the research, so we kind of have to find it because it validates the idea. And seeing this post is this one right here.
How to fix your entire life in one.
All right, so this guy basically all he did, right, was he created an audio output and he basically, it went viral. It got 16,000 likes, 30,000 bookmarks. And this kind of gave me the whole idea in the first place because this guy gets like barely any likes already. If you look at his content, like 50 to 100 likes range. So this was kind of a bit of an outlier. All he did was he converted this article into an audio, okay? And this got me thinking like, okay, there's actually a market for this because this app, this whole concept kind of popped off. So I'm actually going to paste this here. Now my thesis is that X.com is pushing articles down their users' throats right now, and there is a clear quote unquote epidemic within the community where the bookmark to like ratio is always 2 to 3x higher, right? But the chances are people don't even check their bookmarks. So creating an audio version of users' bookmarks. So, but the chances are people don't even check their bookmarks. So automatically converting a user's bookmarks into audio. Like this one alone, right? 28 minutes of recording. Like people to read it might be even a bit longer, like 30, 35 minutes. A lot of people aren't going to spend that time reading this article. So I think this is a potentially decent idea. In terms of difficulty, it seems pretty easy. I feel like it's literally connecting the Twitter API and just automatically scraping a user's profile every time they save something. It just saves it as a audio or converts it into an audio. And I don't know, I something about the idea, because it's a new market, you know, X is pushing articles extra hard recently, and relative to, you know, the fact that audiobooks are clearly a pretty massive, I guess, have a pretty huge market size. Twitter being the largest kind of news app out there, like things kind of align, right? Like if I was to just super loosely, what is the market cap of audiobooks? And what is the market cap of X.com? So audiobooks, market cap, actual market size. The global audiobooks market is expected to be worth around 10 to 11 billion in 2025. Audiobooks equals 10 to 11 billion. It's almost like you're creating a mood board. X.com valued at roughly 44 billion. So I feel like this is a good indication to us that this idea could work. It's going to be more about how well the marketing is, I think, with this idea specifically. Let's put some music on. I'll say Can I say like lo-fi guitar? Is that a thing? Oh, you know what I actually really like? Like Nintendo background music. And who the fuck actually reads bookmarks? Like, I think that the group of people that actually look at their bookmarks is a lot lower than they think. User who averages 50 to 100 likes makes a audio recording of a viral article and it gets over 16,000 likes. So this is my, I guess you could say, mood board research for bookmarked audio. Now, we've got two ideas. We have our first one, which is Paper Seekers Rock. Second one, which is bookmarked audio. And additionally, the next one is We got Premiere Pro copy paster. So, hear me out. Is that even a word? Paster. It looks wrong. Copy paste. Plugin. So, one idea that I kind of had recently was the fact that, and I don't know how many of you guys are content creators, but when you use Premiere Pro, they don't let you copy paste images into this one right here. They don't let you copy paste images into the timeline. And copy pasting is literally the bloodline of every creative thing that I do. Like, you've even seen while I've been making this mood board that I'm like copy pasting this, I'm copy pasting these. Like, I always copy paste everything because it's so easy. I just Command Control Shift 4, copy the area that I want and paste. And this doesn't require me having to download the app. This doesn't require me having to download the image. This doesn't require me having to, waste precious space on my MacBook. I can just copy something and paste it and just use it for that very single instance, right? Every single post I make on X is a copy paste. Like, even though I made this on Canva, I copied it and pasted it. Like, literally everything I've ever posted is a copy paste. Even these photos, they're copy pastes, right? This feels like a tool for myself. And so I'm curious, like, if you could build a plugin that just was able to identify if there was something in your clipboard and allow you to paste it into Premiere Pro. A simple plugin that allows users to copy paste their images into the Premiere Pro timeline. I literally use copy paste for everything, and it makes no sense why Premiere Pro doesn't have it. Literally Photoshop has it. Why doesn't Premiere Pro have it? So if this is a huge problem for me, I'm sure it is a big problem for others as well. They always say, like, find something that bothers you and try and solve it. So this is kind of pointing towards that traditional kind of business method where it's like, what bothers you? Try and fix it. Try and optimize it. So I have no idea if something like this even exists. Actually, let me do this first. Can you copy and paste into Premiere Pro with your Mac screenshot into clipboard? Copy a Mac screenshot to the clipboard and paste it into Adobe, but not directly into the timeline by default. You need to use a plugin to paste the clipboard directly. Okay, so there is a plugin. And looking at this, it's relatively new. Alright.
Clipboard it, and it literally lets you copy any image from Google.
Alright, let's have a look at these two plugins.
You know that magical Photoshop feature where you can just copy any image from Google and just paste it right in, just boom.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Project. Yeah, trying that in Premiere Pro, nothing happens. Not even an error. It's just purely silence. And every time it happens, I just think, why? Why in the world is the biggest editing software? Why does it have to be so difficult? I guess that's not difficult. It's just annoying how we add images into our timeline. Because if you've ever needed to bring in reference photos, storyboards, assets into Premiere, any image on Google, you know the pain. You find an image on Google, you have to search for it, right click on it, save image as, rename it, dig through folders, realize that it is an AVIF file, then you have to convert it, then you have to rename again, and finally,
Crazy.
to Premiere Pro,
Crazy.
import it into your timeline.
So what's he built? What's he built?
Build stop, even called clipboarded, and it literally lets you copy any image from Google, your desktop, even a screenshot that you take, and paste it directly into Premiere Pro. So
Okay.
just let me show you. I can copy an image from Google, switch to Premiere, and hit paste, and it's just like that. It's in my project bin instantly. Transparency is kept. WebP or AVIF files, they're auto-converted to PNG. Renaming is automatic, and the organization is already sorted into the...
Okay. Let's see. He's charging it for $20. He's charging it for $25. Let's see. Goated. I bought it. I'll try it now. Just use copy pasta. It was okay. I don't think it converts everything to PNG though. Does not work. Creator like his own voice. Follow your instructions does not work. All I hear is your voice. Okay, so there's clip it here. I'm curious how much he's clearly vibe coded the whole thing. And $25 is pretty expensive. So we could definitely come in at a cheaper rate. Trusted by 100+ editors. All right, let's do this. If I was to put this into SEMrush, for those who don't know, SEMrush is a traffic site analytics page where you can kind of look at how much volume a website gets in terms of views. Now this guy got really good with his SEO actually, because this video is being recommended by Google. Let's quickly just log in here. Yo, what up, Blues? How we doing? So I like to use SEMrush to kind of gauge how many like visits something is getting a day. Okay, so this got 733 visits. That's not bad. Bounce rate, what's that? The percentage of visitors that view only one page on the website before leaving for the selected time period. Now, considering that this is just a landing page and everything's within here, that means in order to go to the next page, you would have to press this. Okay, so it takes you to the Adobe Exchange. Five reviews. Okay. Interesting. So 733 total visits. Let's say average conversion. What is the average conversion rate for a product that is the correct market fit? I'm talking visits on the website to actual paying customers. Good product market fit, 3 to 7%. Really solid fit, 12. All right, so let's say he's getting 5%. Let's go conservative, 5%. So if he's gotten 733 visits and at 5%, that's 36, and he's charging $25. He's making about $900 a month. It's pretty solid. What am I up to? So basically we are starting a new challenge within the, I guess, series where we're doing a 7-day app challenge. And this whole video is basically coming up with our next idea. Because, you know, Sway has been published and we're just waiting on it getting reviewed by the official team. We've submitted it, everything, right? So we're kind of just going to go through this, coming up with the list of app ideas. We're going to research the market size, difficulty, and competitors. We're going to write the product requirements document, and then we're going to get into planning mode with Claude. And, you know, we only have 7 days, so we're trying to find relatively small app ideas. But our first idea is Paper Seekers Rock. Our second is Bookmark to Audio. And I'll go through all this again once we've got all the ideas. And now we're looking into Premiere Pro Copy Paste plugin. Because you can see this guy, 982 views. Obviously hasn't pushed it too hard. Yeah, so it hasn't pushed it too hard by the looks of it. I think there's definitely opportunity for us to come in and do a better job in the marketing and branding. Because if this just stays here, right? Like that's kind of cool. Now there's this guy who has Phantom Editor.
And let's go down here. Let's click on this image and right click, copy image, and back in our sequence, we can paste this image by pressing paste. And let's make this image a little bit bigger by right clicking it, going down in 50 frame, and we have a perfectly sized image as well. But not only that, you can also copy the frame directly to your keyboard as well. Going back to our plugin down here, you can press copy frame, which is going to take that frame that you have and put it into your clipboard. So now, if I go back to another sequence,
so this guy has a free alternative.
I can paste that clipboard image into another sequence, or I can put it anywhere else. I don't know, Word docs, Notion, Google Drive, you name it. It saves directly onto your clipboard, so you don't have to export manually and save the frame yourself and put it somewhere else. This tool.
Okay, cool. This only has 186 views. Which kind of tells me a different story. Now, 7-day free trial. So this guy's charging a subscription? $13 a month, bro. Are you ridiculous, man? That's insane, dude. So how much does this page actually get in terms of visits? I mean, it wouldn't get that many. I don't want to use up all my tokens today. But this is the bigger one, and it's got 733 visits. And I think that gives us enough of an indication. So how to paste images from Clipboard in Adobe Premiere. I feel like a Reddit article, a Reddit post could do pretty well as well. Copy pasta not free anymore. I have a free tool arrow that copies frames from a timeline to the clipboard. Okay, I think Reddit and like a simple YouTube video, I guess, could easily sell this. I'll tell you what I like about this is it's the easiest out of all the ideas. This feels like it's like super easy. I'm not gonna lie. A literal plugin that could passively make $1,000 a month sounds pretty decent. So this seems like the main kind of funnel that his users are coming from. traffic received. So this is his website where he charges. And this was probably US dollars as well. What did we say it equaled? So 733 divided by 5% times 25 equals 916. So we know that this guy is basically making a $900 MRR, give or take, based off of this simple, I guess, equation. Now, it could be lower, it could be higher, but this just gives us a rough idea, you know? Like, his video only has 989 views. I can almost guarantee that this is his main funnel. Like, it's at the top of the Google search. Like, companies pay good money for that. And his SEO, he's luckily just stumbled upon the AI kind of promoting him. So that's quite cool to see. If I was him, I would actually create videos around different ways to search that term. So that's idea 3. Are we following? Is this making sense to everyone? So now we're on idea 4, which is a $75 hard planner. So for those who don't know, I've actually started doing 75 hard, and 75 hard is basically this challenge. We have to do 2 workouts. You need to follow a strict diet, drink a gallon of water every day, read 10 pages, and take a photo. And I feel like there isn't really any good app out there for us to kind of use. So literally just creating a 75 hard like tracking app thingy. Let me just turn the aircon on. All right. Idea. An app that just tracks your 75 hard challenge. Simple checklist that you just tick off every day. Maybe your character, you have like a character that grows stronger. And that's where scope creep comes in. Like, you just start adding shit to it. I didn't even think of the character until then. Thesis. 75 hard is a very popular challenge that is almost like a household name, especially among the younger generation. Everyone I talk to knows what 75 hard is, especially within my circle. And so an app, it kind of markets itself if you can get good SEO and position yourself well. What would be a good indicator is if it does well on Etsy. $75 soft. Digital 75-day challenge tracker. So there's clearly quite a few bestseller, popular now. In 20 plus baskets. Okay. The Ultimate 3-in-1 Printable Bundle 75-day challenge. It seems a bit female. So maybe like a woman's version of 75 hard. Something that's a bit more cute. I actually like that a lot. 75 hard planner app for women. In 20 baskets right now. Well, we can see that, and look how much they're paying, $15, when the next best one is $2.70. This tells me that they want this style. Like, if we break down this specific thumbnail, it's pink. It's got like light colors, pastel colors. This one also, pink, pastel, minimalistic. It's got the workout shot. It could be cool if this is how the layout was. Like, it could literally be as simple as that. Turning this into an app. Like, that's literally the layout. Pastel soft colors. Female in thumbnail. Could copy layout similar to this. If we go to Google Analytics, is 75 hard like in a search term? Just Google Trends. Okay, it's 24 hours. Let's do past year. So we get a spike in that December range. Spike again in the March range. Let's look at 5-year. So every single January it spikes, which is pretty funny. It's goated, and it's what almost everyone uses to make inspo boards and stuff. Wait, what is it? Is it Myro? I can't see the link if you sent me a link. $75 hard, 54. But we can see that the trend is pretty like 89. It actually only, I guess, January is not over yet. It drops and then goes back up and drops. 24 here. So November 2024, 24, 24, 18. December it starts to pick up. January it pumps. So maybe like this app could be really good to build. But if you have it, it gets reviews over the year and then it just pumps. TL withdraw. What is it? Oh, it's a free. Oh, okay. That's cool. It reminds me of Myro. Have you heard of Myro? I usually use Myro, but kind of similar. But I like using Canva because it's like you can kind of just look through it like this. I don't know. I like there's a little bit of structure. Not that it's like completely free reign. So we got idea 5. So that's idea 4. Last idea, which I'm honestly pretty bullish about. I kind of might have saved the best one till last, but I'm thinking, and hear me out. We drop a Claude bot launcher. Because right now there's a bit of technicalities around, you know, having to set it up, how to get all that sorted. What if there was literally an app, a web app that just like you put in the deets, it just sets it all up for you, and you just pay like a monthly subscription. An app that makes it super easy for a non-technical person to launch their own Claude bot. Just add in your credentials and boom, it's made. Claude bot is going viral right now on x.com, and it makes a lot of sense that if you were to build something like this, you'd probably get a decent amount of eyeballs. Key thing to note here is that you have to be fast. Like I look on my feed, boom, Claude bot. At week 8. I'm trying to see. Boom, another Claude bot. Really changed the game, but most people don't know how to set it up. In these 20 minutes, you'll learn everything about Claude bot. You can literally see setting up is a massive thing right now, right? So I'm just gonna literally paste these. And this is probably the hardest one to build, honestly. That's a funny meme. So I guess the main thing is like, how hard is this? Probably the hardest of all the ideas to build. Like, we kind of know this one is a winner just because of how the sheer popularity of Claudebot. The main thing would be like, how hard is this to build? So now what I want to do is we've come up with a list. We've done a, like, roughly kind of done that. What I kind of want to do now is, I guess, create a list. And maybe we will actually use a whiteboard for this. Let's try it out. Let's try out TL Draw. Actually, I kind of like Miro. I'll show you Miro, just because I'm familiar with it. All right. So we have our blank canvas here. I want to create a table. Yeah, literally just maybe like this one or this one. Use template. Can I add? I need to duplicate this. All right, so what we're going to do now is a bit of a workshop where we're just going to compare all the ideas. The way that you do this, now whiteboarding is goated for ideation. Effort/ease, impact, X factor. Kind of don't need these. Maybe this one can be notes. All right. Can you guys see that? So we've got our ideas. Now we kind of need to rank them against each other. So we got effort, ease, impact, X factor, final score, and notes. So if I had to describe all of these, effort and ease would be how easy is it to build? And then impact would be will people notice? And then X factor is like, I guess X factor is actually the will people notice? Is like, does it have the X factor, you know? Does it have like that virality kind of element? Viral element. And then impact can be like life-changing, question mark. So effort, ease is like how easy is it to build? Impact is like how much of an effect does this have on your life? And I just realized you can't see it. Right. So we got idea. How easy is it to build? How big of an impact would this have on someone's life? The viral element. Like, is there an X factor? And we're going to rank these from 1 to 5. 1 being the highest, 5 being the lowest. And then basically whatever has the lowest score is probably our most highest chance on building it. So the first, we've got Paper Seekers Rock. Music's a bit confusing. Is there like a... So let's work slow and easy. Paper Seekers Rock. We got bookmark to earn. Bookmark to earn. Bookmark to audio. And then we've got 75 hard app for women. Claude bot launcher. All right, so we've got our apps ideas. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Effort ease. So let's start with Paper Seekers Rock. And let's actually make these all. Paper Seekers Rock. In terms of buildability, we've worked with smart contracts before. Watching while doing cardio, so won't be too active in chat. All good blues. I'm not really reacting to chat too much on this live stream, so it's all good, bro. Good luck with your cardio. Paper Seekers Rock. In terms of simplicity, easy to build, it's pretty simple, right? You put up a token, which is Seeker. You play literally paper, scissors, or rock, and whoever wins gets the pot. Now, I think the hardest part about this would probably be the live player activity. So 1 being the lowest. Final score, I go lowest equals best. All right. I think in terms of build, the hardest part would be probably be the real-time feedback. Live equals sockets. Blues, you're probably going to have to coach me through building this one. I'm going to say 2 out of 5. Because I'm very familiar with crypto. I think in terms of the escrow, in terms of security, in terms of everything like that, very familiar, pretty confident in the build itself. The hardest part would probably be learning WebSockets. Let me ask, and maybe it's worth getting an extra opinion. So maybe instead of this, I have chat next to me, chat GPT. In terms of building Paper Seekers Rock, which will be a crypto app we launch on the Solana mobile Seeker device, where users can wage their Seeker token, play Paper Scissors Rock with someone else in real time, and whoever wins gets the pot. How difficult do you think this is to build, and what area do you think would be the hardest to build? I personally think it's going to be the live kind of playthrough and how to implement, real-time feedback. Paper and latency, conceptually simple, technically annoying in exactly the places you'll suspect. Difficulty is medium if you do it sensibly, high if you try to make it fully on-chain real-time. The trick is splitting real-time gameplay from trustless sentiment. The hardest areas in order of likely pain. Fairness plus anti-cheat. This is the real boss fight. Real-time UX is solvable. Making sure nobody can cheat, stall, or peek is where crypto games go to die. You need a way for both players to lock in a move without revealing it. Commit, reveal. You need to prevent griefing. Someone joins, sees something, never reveals, rage quits. You need timeouts and penalties so funds don't get stuck forever. This is the core designing rules that are fair, enforceable, and don't rely on trust me. Okay. What I'd build so you don't invent new pain. Off-chain real time for game fuel. On-chain for money plus rules. If one player doesn't reveal in time, they forfeit or partially. Okay, if you want the honest difficulty meter. Commit, reveal, payout, basic UI. Man, this is making me think it's harder. On a scale of 1 to 5 to build the MVP using Claude code, give me a time frame. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest difficulty and simplicity, 5 being the highest, give me an estimated time frame for the MVP if we just quickly used Claude Code and tried to solo dev it. The MVP. Four out of 5. Why it's a 4 and not a 5? The game is simple. Why it's not a 2? The moment you add whoever wins gets the pot, you inherit escrow plus anti-cheat plus griefing plus chain settlement plus edge cases. Okay. You know what? Let's pump it up to a 3. I don't think it's as dramatic as it sounds to be, but I do think it is. I had a rock, paper, scissors on AVAX. I had a few thousand games played. The main thing to think about is privacy aspect, because the first player make a transaction, that transaction can't be read on chain by the second player. Commit reveal is what I've used on AVAX from a technical development aspect. From a technical development aspect, give me the rundown. Coco, was your app fully on chain? Because what if the actual game itself was off chain and that just the money in escrow was on chain and both users have to commit the same amount? So we've got mobile app, real-time matchmaking, Solana program, indexer persistence, player stats, the match flow, create match, commit, on-chain stats, reveal, settle, the hardest technical bits, deposit deadline, commit deadline, reveal deadline, and clear rules for each miss. Must have a wallet connect plus token balance display, set wager amount, matchmaking, WebSocket match room plus timers, on-chain escrow plus commit reveal plus settle, basic history, even if it's just last 10 matches from your DB. Okay. Now, impact, life-changing, not really. So we'll go 5 out of 5. 5 is being the worst. I agree. I think GPT is making it sound more complicated than it should be. I don't think it's that hard, but I think for safety's sake, I'm going to bump it up. This could work, but watch out for hacks on your server. Okay. So, I mean, do you use Privy, Coco? Privy feels like, I always use Privy for everything crypto related in terms of security. I think they do have an escrow feature as well. I don't really see if you use Privy how the chances of someone hacking you, unless they're able to literally hack Stripe themselves, which is like $1 billion company. What do you reckon, Coco? Viral element? I'm actually going to say this is pretty high. Every time someone posts anything Seeker related, for example, this is a good stat right here. Records the largest 24-hour gain across the top 200. Okay. So he actually retweeted this guy's tweet. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find it. Yeah, here we go. So this tweet right here, this guy made a tweet regarding ore mining, and they allow users to basically spend their Seeker token, and it did 106,000 views. So I feel like this kind of validates the viral aspect. Like if you post about your app using Seeker natively, I think it could do well. So I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5. It's not crazy viral, but it's got legs. Well, you need a web server. Cook is saying you just need to protect your API routes that are used to communicate with client. It's about the flow. First player play, second player play. If you are fully on chain, where do you store what the first user played, on chain or off chain? Wouldn't you just make it real time so they both need to play within like 5 seconds or something? So you store it on the server, unreadable for the client. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Okay, so final score gives us 3, 8, 12, 2. So that's 10 out of 15. Now remember, the lower the better, okay? Notes, I will say very familiar with the crypto space and could easily build the marketing side of things. Actually, I'll say markets itself with the Seeker app store. That is probably the biggest. Actually, I'm going to actually make the simplicity a bit lower because I feel like the marketing aspect is pretty big. Like, sure, you might need to do some extra checks for the security and whatnot, but the actual advertising itself and marketing is kind of handled by Seeker. So on-chain can't be real time. Don't store their choices on-chain. If it's on-chain, then because everything is public, the second user can look at what the first player played and play accordingly to win. Yeah, definitely wouldn't be on-chain. Definitely not. I bookmarked to audio. Now, I think this one is a bit of a banger. I'm not going to lie. How easy is it to build? Relatively easy. Now, I want to build a bookmark to audio app where we connect the Twitter API, and anytime a user bookmarks an article, our app automatically converts it into an audiobook for them to listen to. Very buildable as an MVP, but the annoying bits are reliably and B, getting clean articles text that won't sound like a cookie banner. How you detect bookmarks. X does have an endpoint to fetch a user's bookmark, and it's explicitly for the authenticated user. Bookmarks are private. Rate limit for that endpoint is listed at 180 requests, 15 minutes per user. Catch, there's no bookmark event webhook. Shifting, sitting there waiting to bless you with real-time updates. X's webhook stuff is mainly around things like account activity and filtered streams of public posts, not user bookmark something as a push event. So for automatic, you have 2 realistic options. Option A, poll plus diff. Every n minutes, call get bookmarks, compare against what you already processed. New ones, okay. Option B, instead of relying on bookmarks, you let users send to audio. Nah, I think there needs to be a level of easiness to this. Or a browser extension if you go desktop later. This avoids polling and reduces X API dependency. If you still want bookmarks, you can support both. To read bookmarks, you need user context auth because it's a private user. Turn messy web pages into decent text. This is where your it should take a weekend fantasy goes to die. I reckon this is overcomplicating it. I've tried it, it's pretty easy. Compare that idea and rate it from 1 to 10, 1 being the easiest to build, 5 being the highest and hardest. How easy is it to build? I think this is probably like maybe, I'm going to say a 4, okay, a 3 out of 5, okay. I'm going to say this is a 2 out of 5. If we get users to authorize login at the very start to even sign up to the app, wouldn't this just solve a bunch of our problems? You can read the user's bookmarks at all because and require without auth your data in the water. You can reliably connect the bookmark list to a specific user account. No guessing, no paste your username, no nonsense. You can store a cursor. Real-time bookmark detection. Okay, I think 2 out of 5. I think 2 out of 5 for this. Seems pretty straightforward. You got the Twitter API. You send a scrape. So it's pretty easy to just every 15 minutes scrape the user's bookmarks and create audios out of them using 11 Labs API. The per user rate limit is 180 requests per hour for the endpoint. So pulling everything is nowhere near the per user ceiling. If you have 1,000 users, that's 4,000 requests hour, which is fine technically. The real question becomes X plan quotas costs, not the per user limit. The parts you're underestimating. Convert articles. Bookmarks often contain posts with no external article link. Multiple links. Paywall links, short posts. You need a decision tree. If it's a link to a readable page, extract article text. It's just the post text thread. Read that instead or skip. If it's blocked paywall, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. I think it's easy to do. Life changing. I think this is actually one of the better ones, because for me personally, bookmarks are going viral on X, and I just don't have the time to read all of them. So finding something that automatically converts it into audios, I would use this. And I feel like it would actually really benefit my ability to learn, because I'm able to, find time to listen to these articles, because I can listen to it while I'm driving. I can listen to it while I'm cleaning. I think this is pretty life-changing. So in terms of impact, I'm probably going to give this like a 3. Viral element, I think there is a viral element to this, mainly because when we did our planning, we did find that this guy literally made a post doing exactly what we've stated, and it got 16,000 views. Sorry, 16,000 likes when he averages 50 to 100. So this is clearly in demand somewhat. We can also see that, there's a bunch of bookmarks being made. So this is definitely a tool that would be used. There is people bookmarking, and there is people that don't look at their bookmarks, I think this is probably, this might even be a 1. Actually, this might be a 2, and then I'll make this a 3. Final score puts this at 3 plus 2, 5, 7. 7 out of 15. That's our best one so far. Notes. Articles are trending on X right now. Premiere Pro copy paste plugin. Effort ease. This is definitely, I don't even need to look this up. This is definitely the easiest one to build. A simple plugin that lets you copy paste your your images into the Premiere Pro timeline. Coco and Blues Doobie backseat dev team. Yeah, for real. Actually, though. That's the good thing about live streaming is like, if I'm stuck on something, you guys will just come in and help. It's actually pretty good. I feel like I'm learning a lot more from you guys. Because if you think about it, like if I was just live streaming if I was just building stuff without live streaming, think of how I'd probably still be on Replit by now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like I've learned a lot from chat. Life changing. Honestly, this is a pretty big impact. Like I use my copy paste on my Mac for pretty much everything. Like even you've seen when I was even coming up with this mood board, I've copy pasted this, I've copy pasted this, I've copy pasted this, I've copy pasted this. Like every single slide I've copy pasted something. Like I just use it so frequently, it's almost become like a second nature to me. So when editing videos, it's super frustrating not being able to do that. So for me, this is pretty life-changing. I'd give it like a 2 out of 5. Viral element, X factor, there's not really any viral element. So it's pretty, I guess, low. This is kind of like an evergreen product. So if we were to add this up, that's 8 out of 10 out of 15. Easiest to build evergreen product. $75 hard planner for app for a woman. I think this is pretty easy. It's literally just a checklist. So this is probably a 1 out of 5 as well. Life changing, this is probably one of the higher ones. This is literally like you're bettering yourself, fitness. I might even match it with the plugin at a 2 out of 5 because it's pretty life-changing doing 75 hard. Like I'm going through it right now and like I feel like my life is literally changing before my eyes because it's forcing me to do things that I'm uncomfortable with and it's making me grow as a person. And if there was an app that promoted that, I think that's huge. So 2 out of 5. Viral element, it's not mega viral, but it is a household kind of thing. Everyone knows what 75 hard is. And it's at least within my friendship group and everyone that I speak to. I'm not sure. Do you guys know what 75 hard is? And I think so. It's like it's somewhat evergreen, but it's also it does peak around the January New Year New Me time. So I feel like I might even give it like a 4 out of 5. Puts this at 7. There is no app for women. Claude Bot Launcher. All right. So this is the crazy one because I think this is by far the hardest build out of all of these because it requires, setting up a server for someone. It requires like literally creating a safe environment that's secure for users to literally add in all their credentials and stuff. Like this one's pretty hard. I might even say, let's see if ChatGPT were to compare all of these, what it would rank them as. So we've got Paper Seekers Rock, Bookmark to Audio. I want to introduce Premiere Pro copy paste plugin where I can literally just copy paste images into the timeline. I also want to add a 75 hard planner app specifically for women. And I also want to add a Claude Bot Launcher that is super simple interface that anyone that is non-technical can launch their own Claude bot by just providing the fees, paying a monthly subscription, and adding in their credentials. Rank these all from 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the hardest on difficulty. $75 hard planner, 1 out of 5. Yep. Premiere Pro, 2 out of 5. Okay. Bookmark to audio app, 3 out of 5. 4 out of 5. 5 out of 5. Interesting. This one looks simple and quietly isn't, because you're dealing with user provided API keys. Let me just get something like this one. So user provided API key, secure credential storage, per user compute limits, abuse prevention, usage metering, billing logic that matches consumption. Why did my bot stop working? Support tickets. This is basically mini SaaS platform territory. Not impossible. At the moment people pay monthly, expectations spike and your weekends disappear. Okay. The list also quietly shows something else. The harder the build, the less forgiving the users. The easier the build, the harder the marketing. That's true. It's a good point. That's a good observation that I didn't notice. I'm doing a challenge where I build an app within 7 days and try to launch it and get the first sale. I'm live streaming everything. Which app do you think I should work on? So I think Claude Bot Launcher is harder than the Paperseeker Rock. This is a 2. This is definitely a 3 at least. This would be a 4. Solidev, this is not a best long-term startup question. Here's the ranking for this challenge specifically. It's an obvious value. You can demo it in 5 seconds. Watch this, I copy and paste. It appears in my timeline. So it overlaps. I mean, I'm not really trying to sell to my live stream. You're selling pain relief to people who already feel the pain. Buying behavior 9 to 19 one time or monthly is easy money. Credible live stream content. It's a visual stream. Paperseeker's Rock, bad for a 7-day build. Too much logic, too much testing. Bookmark to audio, good idea, bad 7-day goal. Onboarding, friction. Users don't impulse buy this. Hard to demo instantly. Easy to build, hard to sell fast. Crowded market, emotional purchase. Longer trust curve, not aligned with your current audience. Way too much surface area. Billing, credentials, infra, support nightmares. So if your goal is build fast, launch publicly, make first sale live on stream, you should work on Premiere Pro copy paste plugin. It's the only one where the MVP is small, the value is instantly visible, the purchase decision is fast, your audience already cares, you can realistically sell within days, not weeks. This challenge is about momentum, proof, and storytelling. This is the cleanest win. Build the thing that lets someone say, wait, I actually pay for that. Interesting. Impact. This is pretty high, I'd say. It's freaking Claude Bot, right? What up, Silly Lad? How you doing? Yeah, Claude Bot Launcher would be freaking hard, hey. But man, you build that, and I guarantee you get sales, and I guarantee you get some decent views. So it's like the difficulty of the build, but you also get to, you know. Viral element is definitely 1 out of 5. Maybe even, yeah, we go 2 here. Actually, and I think this is honestly a 5. Puts it at 7.15. So we have a tie. So maybe if we look at this a bit more, we can kind of move things around. how easy is it to build? It's a 1 to build, but the marketing would be challenging. So I think we'll go with 3. Bookmark to audio, easy to build. The marketing would be somewhat challenging. It is a viral in the sense of the articles, but I don't know if it's that viral. Like, it's not the thing everyone's talking about. It's just a trend. So that would put us at 8. Saw you in my vibe. I'm working on a fun game in Quake Engine with OpenGL and SDL and C or C++. I can't remember. It's more always the marketing than the build itself. Completely agree, bro. Completely agree. Me personally, though, because I come from a marketing background, it's for me, the build is also quite challenging. And I've got more of an idea on the marketing side. But you know what? I'll say probably the number 1 most talked about thing on x.com right now. Use that as a note. All right, let me ask this. So the Claude bot launcher is a bit too difficult. What are some other more simpler ideas for things I could build that kind of pop up now that Claude bot is a trend? Is there some other tooling or something I could add on top of Claude bot for users to, you know, use or find, I guess, useful? Man, that was probably my worst prompt yet. What are you building now since the app is done? We're kind of going through a workshop where we kind of break down all our ideas and find the best one to build. I know for me, since I'm Canadian, I'm finding a service that is Canadian owned rather than American. What about Australian? Because I'm from Australia. So just a quick rundown for anyone that's new to the video right now. So we're doing a 7-day app challenge where we basically build and launch an app within the first 7 days. And I want to be able to get the first sale as well, just to kind of show you guys that you got to stop overthinking it and just build it. And so I'm trying to break down, in order for this to be a success, I'm kind of spending a lot of time in this area because I want to make sure that whatever I build doesn't flop. So I'm kind of showing you guys my personal breakdown and how that goes. So the first app idea is Paper Seekers Rock. The whole concept behind this is Solana just airdropped their Seeker token. So for their mobile device, it's this mobile device right here. And I think there's a huge amount of liquidity within this market right now. So if you built an app that is branded for the Seeker token, I think you would definitely get some users and be able to get some sort of push, maybe your first 100 users. I launched my own app within this app store, and in a month I got 256 reviews. So I think this is a good idea. It's just a bit hard to build. Bookmark to audio. Right now there's a trend on x.com where Twitter is literally giving out $1 million to the most viewed article that gets posted on X within this month. So it's a bit of a trend. My entire feed is just full of articles. And so imagine if we created a bookmark to audio app where users bookmark something and it automatically gets converted into an audio for them to listen to. Now, I'm a huge fan of audiobooks. Every time I listen to an audiobook, I'm usually cleaning or I'm driving. And so I think this could be a really solid idea and part of the validation is the fact that, this article, it's got an 8,100 comments, 55,000 retweets, 283,000 likes, and it's got 2.7 times more bookmarks. And who the hell is looking at their bookmarks? this is another validation point where this guy, Kakashi, he usually gets 50 to 100 likes per post, but within this specific post, he converted all the words from this article, the same one here, into an audio, and it got 16,000 likes. It blew up. So this further validates my idea, the fact that, you know, people are kind of interested in this concept. In terms of marketing, I think what you could do is you could probably hire someone from maybe like Philippines or India or whoever on a lower budget, like introductory level kind of skill, and just tell them, look, I'm going to send you 5 articles a day. You're going to convert them into audios using 11 Labs, and you're just going to post them on Twitter 5 times a day. Super simple. That's running for like maybe $200 a week. And that just chugs. If you end up getting a viral post like this, your app's going to get a bunch of users. So I do quite like the bookmark to audio idea. Premiere Pro for copy paste plugin. All right, now this one, as a content creator that uses Premiere Pro, one of the biggest issues that I find is I can't copy paste my screenshots into the timeline. Like even on this, in this slideshow, you can see how many times I've screenshotted something. Like every single page, there is at least 2 screenshots. I do it without even realizing. It's like built into my habits. Every time I create something, even when I make a post on Twitter, and even if I've made it on Canva, I'll literally screenshot the Canva page and post it on Twitter because it's just easier, it's simpler. And so the fact that Premiere Pro doesn't allow you to do this is insane. So a simple plugin that allows users to copy paste their images into the Premiere Pro timeline. And then, yeah, we can charge like a lifetime fee. We looked into this guy who got 989 views. He's getting ranked pretty high in the Google search. Google AI is actually recommending his product. And we looked at his total traffic that went into the website, which is 733 in December. And if you just do like a simple 5% conversion rate, it could be higher, it could be lower. You know, if you have a good website, the conversion rate could be as high as 20%. But I think 5% is like a good mid-range where we're giving him the benefit of the doubt, but also like it could be lower. He charges $25 a month. Not a month, sorry. $25 lifetime fee. And if we were to divide 733 visits by a 5% conversion rate at $25 spend, we get $916 MRR, monthly recurring revenue. So this feels a bit evergreen, this product itself. I think it's definitely one I'm interested in, mainly because I know I'd use it myself, right? Like this isn't one of those products that I'd actually build and use myself. And you know the age-old business saying where it's like, you know, find something that annoys you and fix it. This is kind of like that approach I've gone with. This specific idea is like, this is something that genuinely annoys me. So if I fixed it for myself, I'm sure other people would want to use it as well. I think this guy's pricing is a bit too high. $25 is criminal. Another guy, he's doing it at a monthly subscription of $15. So I think there's definitely room for us to come in and create our own product that maybe is even better and is also cheaper. So that's kind of my point. This guy only got 989 views on this video. I think we could definitely do a better job at marketing and just kind of SEO ranking. Now, idea number 4 is a 75 hard planner app for women. Now, the reason that I think this is a good idea is because I'm currently doing 75 hard right now. I'm on day 2 and I'm looking for an app tracker, and 1, there's not a good one. 2, there isn't one for women. We looked on Etsy over here and we found that the most popular 75 hard day planner right now is actually a women's one. Like you can see it's like pink, it's got like peachy colors, it's very like pastel. super female kind of themed. So I think there's a lot of opportunity because we can see that this product specifically is dominating the sales. You can see right here, this is getting pushed. It's in the top column, right? It's not a promo one. You can see they're not paying for ads, at least not for this. So this tells me that this is in demand, because on Etsy, if this is a bestseller, then it makes sense that it would transfer into other areas as well. So I think being able to create an app for women would be interesting. Now, one thing I do want to do is I want to go to Sensor Tower real quick, because I feel like right now we're deciding Epinic. I think if I went 75 hard right now, we've got this app right here. It's getting $50,000 a month in revenue, 20,000 downloads, and this looks pretty interesting. So it looks like this could quite easily be vibe coded. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, definitely could be very easily vibe coded. You do a shot every day. This feels like it's meant for a man. You know what I mean? So creating literally this exact thing, we literally copy these frames, everything, and make it for a woman. I think that would be very, very interesting. So they got a monthly deal of $5, annual deal of $40. Super, super simple pricing. I think this is big. I'm not going to lie. The more I talk about it, the more hyped I get over this idea. But the thing is, I'm hyped about all of my ideas. So yeah, that's kind of this whole idea. Now, I feel like this is a bit of an evergreen product, kind of like the Premiere Pro copy-paste plugin. But what's different is there is a trend, which we looked at here, where at the end of every year, we get a spike, because the new year, new me trend, everyone starts to kind of come in and get into 75 hard or whatever. So, I mean, I basically did it, right? New year, new me. I'm here doing 75 hard. So I definitely think this is also a big opportunity, mainly because I'm doing 75 hard right now. And I know that there aren't that many apps out there for someone like me. So I basically just want to do the same thing that I'm doing with the plugin, where I create something that I feel like I would, even if it's girly, man, make it girly. That's the whole concept. Literally, we're converting a winning app, which is 75 hard, and we're turning it into a girly version. That's the whole concept. And I think this is further validated by this listing right here. This listing as well. You can see like there's a female here. This is slightly pink. You can see the top ones. This is a bit pinky. This is definitely pink. You can see this is definitely a female. Like you can see that it's catered towards a female audience. All these winning ones. So why is there not an app for a woman? Why is there not a female 75-day hard app? Doesn't make any sense. So I really like this idea. Now, the fifth idea is a Claude bot launcher. I'm sure everyone and their dog and their grandma and their grandma's cat and their girlfriend and their girlfriend's mum has heard about this. Claude bot launcher. Claude bot. So what if we created a launcher where right now it's super technical, right? You need to go to create the VPS. You need to create all these things. You need to give it its credentials. There's all these difficult barriers to entry in the way that someone who's non-technical is not really able to make their own Claude bot. Even for me, having a little bit more experience, I'd say I'm like just a smidge above non-technical now since I've been talking to you guys. I feel like I would have to really closely watch the tutorial to figure out how to do this. And even then I'd probably still mess it up. So a Claude bot launcher where you literally build a SaaS app and users pay a monthly subscription, maybe even a sign-up fee, and it just handles the entire technical side, and you just come in and copy paste your credentials into like a neat little bar UI, and it handles everything. that is the 5th idea. So with all 5 of these ideas, what I did is I broke it down into sections, and we did a workshop. Idea, effort, X factor, final score, and notes. So for the paper, seeker, rock, and the lower the number, the better, guys. So for the paper, scissors, rock, we decided it was a 3 out of 5 in terms of build, 5 being hard, 1 being simple. And we decided it was this because the crypto element is a bit, can be a bit annoying. So, and also the escrow, you got to think about security. There's a lot of things involved outside of the game being simple. So 3 out of 5. In terms of impact, life-changing, 5 out of 5, which is the lowest, right? The lower the number, the better. So 5 out of 5, not very life-changing. Like, it's just a paper, scissors, rock game at the end of the day. And then for X Factor, viral element, we did notice like this specific post did get some good engagement, 106,000 views. And all he did was he allowed users to spend their seeker, right? So you can now basically use this app and pay for things using the seeker token, which is, you can see this kind of validates our idea slightly because his post did decent. So yeah, paper, seeker, rock. So final score, we got a 10 out of 15. So the lower the number, the better, right? Now we got bookmark to audio, which, you know, effort to ease, I think in terms of how easy it is to build, it's probably a 2 out of 5. Pretty easy, I think. We just connect the X API. I think we connect the 11 Labs API, and we just kind of smash them together. Boom, you got your app. In terms of impact, life-changing, I think this is pretty impactful. You know, I listen to audiobooks all the time. Being able to listen to all these viral X articles that have been popping up is like, look, boom, there's an X article right there. Scroll a bit further and you're going to find another X article right here. Another one right there. Like another one right there. Boom. Like X articles are all over my feed right now. Claudebot is also all over my feed right now. So yeah, I think in terms of virality, it's pretty high. X articles are trending right now. In terms of life-changing, I also think it's decent because I listen to audiobooks and I feel like there's a lot of articles coming out with a lot of good content, but I'm not able to read everything because I'm too busy. So being able to listen to it while I'm cleaning or while I'm vacuuming, I feel like that's pretty life-changing. 3 out of 5. Viral element, 3 out of 5. Final score, we got 8 out of 15. Now, Premiere Pro. Blues is saying a Chrome extension that reads tweets. I think it would actually be a mobile app because you look at Twitter on your app, on your mobile device, right? So it makes sense that it's a mobile app that you just have on your mobile device and you can then listen to the audios. If it's on your computer, instantly I feel like there's another barrier where I don't carry my computer around while I'm driving. I don't have my computer on while I'm cleaning. So there's another kind of issue there. I feel like it has to be on your mobile. Premiere Pro, copy paste, plugin. Effort Ease, definitely the easiest. I think it's just a Premiere Pro plugin, right? Famous last words. It's just a Premiere Pro plugin. And then Impact, I think this is quite impactful as well. And I gave it a 2 out of 5 only because I use copy paste all the fucking time. Like, look at this. Even just making this, right? Every single idea has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like this one 7-page document that I made in 30 minutes has 7 screenshots in it. So I use screenshots a lot and it's super frustrating. And I feel like the quality of my videos does go down a little bit purely because of the fact that I can't copy paste images into the timeline. So it makes me a bit lazier when it comes to implementing images into my long form videos or even my short form videos because I don't want to have to export it, save it, download it, then upload it, and then it's taking up space forever in my Mac because I forget to delete it. Like there's so many issues with that could so easily be fixed. So I'm giving this a 2 out of 5. Now, in terms of virality, I think it's pretty low. So 5 out of 5. This is more of an evergreen product. I'm not going to freaking launch a Premiere Pro plugin, tweet about it, and it's going to get 100,000 views. That's definitely not going to happen because this is more of a evergreen product. So, you know, you can see it's kind of winning in terms of the stats for ease and impact, but it's losing in terms of the virality. So 8 out of 15. Still not bad. 75 hard planner app for women. Now, effort ease, I said a 1 out of 10 in terms of building the app, but when it came to actually marketing the app, I gave it a 3, and I bumped it up to a 3 because I feel like this checker thing is quite saturated, like checklist thing. And so, you know, being able to differentiate, yeah, it's for women, so there's already a big differentiator. But, you know, obviously, if you really want this app to do well, you're going to have to do UGC. You're going to have to, you know, think about that marketing a little bit more. Maybe post on TikTok, blah, blah, blah. Impact, life-changing. This is obviously pretty high. I'm doing 75 hard right now, and I feel like it is drastically changed the trajectory of my life because I'm on day 2, by the way, and I can already see like I have to stick to this schedule, which makes me work longer, which makes me, you know, sleep better, which makes me, you know, forces me to go on runs. It forces me discipline. It's like there's all these things. So it's quite life-changing. And if there was an app that promoted that, I think it's huge, especially for women, right? Women in fitness is huge these days. And so why aren't there more apps around that, especially for these more well-known kind of challenges? X Factor, I'm going to say I gave it a 4 out of 5. Remember, the higher the number, the worse. The lower, the better. But I gave it a 4 out of 5 because, man, this is confusing me. I gave this a 4 out of 5 only because you can kind of see, and I'll close ChatGPT. Only because it's kind of evergreen like the Premiere Pro copy paste. But if you look on the trends, you can see that it does spike up on January, December, because that's the new year, new me. So only because of that, I gave it a slightly higher number, which is 4 out of 5. Now, obviously you can see 75 hard. This app is doing quite well. 20,000 downloads in the last month, $50,000 in revenue. Pretty simple app. It's very manly. I feel like we could definitely girlify this. Add some pinks, add some flowers, rainbows, pastel colors. I was even thinking what could be really cool if we had enough time would be to like make like a cool little like rainbow character or like a cute little character, and it like kind of leveled up as you went through the days. But anyway, that's obviously overcomplicating it, and scope creep is a thing, especially with me. So that's 75 hard women planner. And then we got the Claude bot launcher, which is just going to be really difficult, like 5 out of 5. Think about the security, right? All the logistics, all the, you know, user logins, payments. You need to like set up VPS servers for individual users. Like this is pretty difficult. But in terms of like you're making something that's quite difficult to build, but because of its difficulty, I feel like everything else is kind of easy. Like the impact, life-changing, dude, Claudebot is life-changing, 110%. You have your own personal assistant that's able to do things for you. Like that's massive, right? There's a reason why everyone's talking about it. In terms of virality, it's probably the most talked about thing on my X right now. So in terms of virality, this is definitely a 1. So it gets a 7 out of 15. So in terms of the winners, we've got Claudebot, which is the highest scorer. Then we've got Premiere Pro and the Bookmark to Audio, which is second, and tied for second. And then we've got the 75 hard planner app for women, which is 4th. And then we've got the Paper Seekers Rock app, which is 5th. Pretty simple breakdown. And this kind of instantly like okay, understand like, okay, so these, I shouldn't really focus on this. I shouldn't really focus on this. Even though I was super excited about a Claudebot launcher, even though I was super excited about a Paper Seekers Rock app, I just know that I shouldn't work on them mainly because one, Claudebot is just way too hard to build. Even though it's going to be life-changing, even though it's extremely viral, it doesn't really make sense for someone of my skill to build this. And I'm just going to be honest, like, I'm aware that I'm non-technical. I'm not the best when it comes to developing stuff. I'll probably leak an API key or something. So I'm going to cross this out, even though it was ranked the lowest. Now, Paper Seekers Rock, rank it out. And so I'm stuck with these three. And I'm not going to lie, this is a bit difficult because I like all three of these ideas. So if we had to really break these three down further, like Premiere Pro is definitely the easiest one to build. Feels like the lowest commitment. So part of me leans towards Premiere Pro. You've got Bookmark to Audio, which I feel like the thing that's challenging is all three of these would literally solve a problem for me. I'm doing 75 hard right now, and I need a good app to track my progress. I use Premiere Pro to edit my videos, and I can't copy paste my screenshots. Bookmark to Audio, I'm on X every single day, and I bookmark a lot of articles, and I don't have the time to read all of them, so I could listen to the audiobooks. They all solve a problem for me personally in my own life. And it's kind of annoying because, part of me feels like, okay, if we did the 75 hard planner app, for women, there isn't another 75 hard app for women. There just isn't one even out there right now. So we would be the first. So it feels like it would be easy to market. And I'm wondering if that's a trap because the whole market itself is saturated and maybe the girls just want to use whatever's available. Premiere Pro, copy paste, plugin, super easy to build. I would use this myself. Only thing is marketing it feels a bit boring. Like there's a few out there already and it's quite evergreen, it's not like a whoa, I'm amazed kind of product. It's not going to turn heads or anything. And then Bookmark to Audio, also really cool. A bit more difficult of a build because I've already broken it down in my brain where it's like, okay, you've got the API, you've got the app. Now, how are you going to market it? You hire someone overseas. You outsource someone with an intro level to social media marketing, and you send them 5 articles that are popular on X every single day, and then they're going to convert it into bite-sized audio things and then post it, and then hopefully we would get a post like this one, which got 16,000 likes, right? Like the end goal is to get a post that does this well. So yeah, this is the tricky part when it comes to actually committing to something. I really don't know, and honestly, this epic music is distracting me. So let me just get rid of it. But 75 hard planner app for women, Premiere Pro copy paste plugin, and a Bookmark to Audio. The thing is, what I like about Bookmark to Audio is once you build it, it kind of runs itself, because if you outsource the social media management, the guy will eventually get good enough to just find the articles himself or herself, and that just kind of runs as a flywheel on its own. So it's like you build it and then you can just kind of forget it and it just runs in the background. Premiere Pro copy paste plugin, what I like about this is it's super easy to build. So I feel like even if I committed to this and built it, it wouldn't really take that long in terms of getting it ready for the MVP to launch. 75 hard app planner, also really easy to build. So it's almost like, can we build all three of these? Like, shit, is that an option? Nah, we have to pick one. All right, so I'm thinking this bookmark to audio is cool, but you know, I don't know if the trend is going to stay around forever. You know, X is pushing the articles heavy right now. Oh, I don't know, man. What do you guys think? What do you guys reckon? What up, Viketti? How you doing? I think the 75 hard one will be a great learning experience too. I think you can go local first route with the 75 hard app as well with W. That's true. So the mobile app, you will use the X API to pull a user's bookmarks. Do we know if X is available and has that capability? Yes, it does. X could just add it as a feature natively. The chances of X adding it as a feature seem low. Yeah. I can see definitely maybe it doing that, but I can't see it being front of mind for them right now. So you guys don't like bookmark to audio is what you're saying? So maybe in terms of, like, let's say we were to cross, let's say this is number 3. Out of the 3 here, this is the 3rd. Premiere Pro copy paste and 75 hard planner for women. Now this is kind of the 2 remaining apps that I'm trying to pick between. Yo, subscribe if you haven't already. 1806 today. I think we passed 1800 just this morning. So big ups to everyone that's been tuning in and enjoying the live streams. Thank you. Also, like the stream if you're enjoying. I basically just spilled the beans on how I find my viral app ideas. So I will say, if I was to break this down further, Premiere Pro, super easy to build, low commitment. $75 hard planner, very relevant to me. There isn't an app for women. Easy to build, maybe a bit harder to market. The thing is, I feel like these both are actually evergreen SEO products where you just need to rank and position yourself properly. And do all right. Like, is that SaaS or software or mobile app? So 75 hard would be a mobile app. Premiere Pro would be like a plugin that you download for your Premiere Pro. X is a W. Only issue is shipping API keys with the client because they can be found in the code by anyone. But you can use a service like Supabase for free to call something called an edge function that is basically a middleman to call the API so you don't ship keys. Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. I'm going to say it's between these two. The thing is, like, we could launch the 75 hard planner app on the App Store and it could just naturally get users, even if we didn't market it. Where with the Premiere Pro copy paste plugin, I feel like I'm going to have to at least record a video. I'm going to have to, but it's not that much effort. This is hard. This is honestly really hard. I wasn't expecting it to be this hard to pick, honestly. Let me look at, a 7-day app challenge. So we're trying to create a 7-day app challenge. Just become a course seller, bro? Nah, bro. You won't catch me dead doing that shit. I'm all about community, man. The way that I see this going is we build like a sick community, and everything that I ever do is going to be free for you guys. The only way that I'd monetize would be through like a sponsorship. So let's say Replit wants to sponsor me, or like there's a tool or something. But I can't ever see myself charging you guys anything. I don't need it. I don't need the money, man. I fuck with the X app. It's cool as fuck. If you're scared of edge functions, you shouldn't be. They are very simple. So you think you actually like the audiobook app? Should we do a poll? Which app should I? Audio. We say article to audio. Premiere plugin. Now this isn't going to lock in my answer, but this will give me an idea of what you guys think is best. 75 hard for women app. Sorry for asking, but why did you stop running your agency if it was making 50K a month? By the way, I'm sure they weren't all profit. Nah, that was 50K revenue. But I stopped because the churn rate was really high. So when I first started the agency, I thought that, I can create an agency and I've got a really strong network, so I can just like get my first clients from there. And I got them. And then I realized like, okay, my clients were only lasting like 3 to 6 months. Okay. And I was like, okay, why are all my clients leaving after 3 to 6 months? Like the work we're doing is really good. And we'd focus on their go-to-market strategy. So they'd, raise a bunch of money, or they'd launch with a bang, or whatever would happen, right? And what ends up happening is 99% of the businesses that launch in crypto fail. They just do. People who launch businesses in crypto, they suck. And so I've found that, they'll launch the business, they'll fail, and then they'll just quit. And so being an agency in crypto, the churn rate is really high. I met this guy in Dubai who runs a marketing agency specifically for crypto projects, and he's doing like a few million in MR per month. And he told me that a lot of his revenue that he makes has to go back into marketing because he needs deal flow to be at a certain level, because he knows that all his clients, or majority of his clients, only last 1 to 3 months. So when I heard that, I was like, dude, I don't want to be hunting for like deal flow every single second of my waking hour. I want to be able to sit back and relax a little bit, like that's the whole point I started business in the first place. I can be my own boss, and I can, find revenue streams that are a bit more passive. And so, marketing agency wasn't very passive. It required a lot of hands-on work. And the second thing is, every time there was an issue, I'm responsible, and, I don't feel like my own boss anymore, because I'm constantly having to please our clients and listen to them. And if they're annoyed, I got to like figure that shit out and talk to the freaking animator or whatever. Like it was just a bit much for me. It wasn't really my preferred business model. So that's kind of why I stopped doing agency work. But yeah, I think we're on $75 hard planner app for women. Let me just send this screenshot to Claude Code because we're a bit stuck. So let's get an extra opinion. So it's just because a cycle and burning money a lot, and there is a lot of headache. Yeah, pretty much. It wasn't like a relaxed business model, you know, it was pretty intense. Also very stressful, man. Like if you're in charge of a company's go-to-market strategy and it doesn't go well, or, you know, the company gets a lot of negative comments, like that shit was making me lose hair, man. I was like balding because of that shit. So I'm going to send a Claude code and see what it says. Understand you, man. Cheers, bro. No. Shit. Gotta redo everything because I was in Claude co-work instead of Claude. God damn it. So I'm about to do a challenge where I build an app, and it's a 7-day app challenge where I build an app and try and get my first sale within the first 7 days. And I am kind of stuck between these 3 app ideas that I have. Can you help me decide? I've done a bit of a workshop. Please review the screenshots and let me know if you have any questions. All 3 of these apps are, I guess, somewhat personal to me because I feel like I would actually use all of these apps. And so what's difficult is, you know, I'm pretty confident that all of these apps are good ideas, but it's like, which one is the most feasible within 7 days? And which one will I enjoy building? Which one would the live stream enjoy? There's kind of a lot of different factors involved. Since I will be live streaming everything on YouTube for others to follow along. Let's see. Anyway, good luck, man. It's 2 here. I'm going to sleep. See you in day 22. See you then, bro. Peace out. Looking at your screenshots, I can see you've done solid research on these ideas. Let me share my thoughts and ask a few clarifying questions. Quick summary of what I'm seeing. From your scoring matrix, the 75 hard plan for women has the highest score, where lower is better in your system, followed by Bookmark to Audio and Premiere Pro plug-in tied at 8.15. My initial thoughts. Premiere Pro copy-paste plugin seems like the safest bet for a 7-day challenge because you've already validated demand to a competitor charging $24.99. It's a focused, well-scoped feature, not a full app. Clear monetization path exists. The easy to build note in your matrix supports this. Bookmark to Audio is the most interesting idea with viral potential. That 765 bookmarks versus 283 likes stat is compelling, but it feels riskier for 7 days because you'd need to nail the x.com integration and TTS quality. 75 Hard Planner has market validation through Etsy printables, but building a polished app that competes on design, those soft pink aesthetics matter for this audience. In 7 days seems harder than it looks. Questions for you. For the Premiere Pro plugin, do you have experience building Adobe plugins extensions? That's a specific technical domain. For bookmark audio, are you thinking browser extensions, standalone app, or x.com? Which of these three do you personally use or would use most frequently? You mentioned all three, but which pain point do you feel most acutely? For the live stream audience factor, do you have a sense of what your viewers would find most engaging to watch you build? So for the Premiere Pro plugin, I don't have any Adobe plugin extension experience. I would use Claude Code to guide me through building the entire thing. For bookmark to audio, I'm planning to make it an app for your mobile device, because when you listen to audiobooks, you're going to be driving, you're going to be cleaning. It makes sense to it to be on your mobile device. Out of the three, I personally would probably use the Premiere Pro plugin the most, because I do feel that pain constantly. For the live stream audience, I feel like they would want to see me succeed. So, think about feasibility and what is the most likely to succeed in the 7-day challenge, because that is what the viewers want to see, and I think that is what would get the most engagement. So the poll ended, and we've got 1 on article to audio, 2 on Premiere plugin, and 40% Premiere plugin, 40% 75 hard for women app, and 20% article to audio. So it's a tie between 75 hard app and Premiere plugin. For bookmark to audio, okay, this looks good. This is really helpful context. Let me think through this with you. The Premiere Pro plugin is looking like your strongest choice. Here's my reasoning. You feel that pain constantly, which means you'll build something that you actually understand deeply. That intuition is invaluable. When you're moving fast, you'll know immediately if something feels right or wrong. The scope is naturally constrained. Copy-paste images into timeline is a single clear feature. Compare that to bookmark to audio, which involves x.com API integration, text-to-speech processing, audio storage, mobile app development, and syncing. That's a lot of moving parts for 7 days. True. My concern with the mobile app route for bookmark to audio, getting a mobile app from 0 to first sale in 7 days is genuinely hard. You need to either go through App Store review, which can take days and might get rejected on first submission, or figure out a distribution workaround. The idea is great, but the logistics work against your timeline. On Claude Code for the Adobe plugin, that is actually a reasonable approach. Adobe extensions are typically built with JavaScript, blah, 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 or UXP for newer plugins. Claude Code can absolutely guide you through this. The learning curve is real, but not insurmountable in a week, especially since the core functionality you need isn't that complex. One thing I'd want to validate before you commit, have you looked at why the existing competitor hasn't completely captured this market? Is there a gap you could fill, or would you be building essentially the same thing and competing on price or marketing? I would basically build the exact same thing and compete on the pricing. I think $25 is really high for a plugin, and their marketing is pretty minimal. They managed to rank well with Google AI, being recommended by at the top of the search when I searched up, can I copy paste into Premiere Pro? They got recommended. So I looked at the video that Google recommends, and it's only got 950 views. I definitely think I could beat that and become the new, authority for this search specifically. And I think I could potentially rank in other searches as well. This feels more like an evergreen product. So I guess making sure this ranks when users search that up, it will be important. That's a solid competitive analysis. You identified a real problem, established demand, weak marketing from the incumbent, and room to undercut on price while still making good margin. This sounds like your answer to me. The path is clear. Build a functional plugin that does the core job. Price it lower. Create better content that captures those search queries. The live stream itself becomes marketing content you can repurpose. One thought on the SEO and content angle. Since you're live streaming the entire build, you'll naturally generate a ton of content. A well-edited, I built a Premiere Pro plugin in 7 days video could absolutely outrank a 950 view tutorial. You're not just building a product, you're building the marketing assets simultaneously. For your 7-day timeline, I'd roughly think about it as get a working prototype, even if ugly, polish it enough to be sellable, set up payments, distribution, create landing page, launch, push content, get that first sale. Do you have a sense of how you would distribute it, Gumroad or your own site? Adobe's marketplace has review times that might not work for 7 days. What's your target price point? I think you've got a winner here. The Premiere Pro plugin checks the boxes: personal pain point, validated demand, weak competition, achievable scope, and content friendly for your live stream. All right, guys. I think we're locking it in. I think we're locking in Premiere Pro. It kind of makes sense when Claude Code broke it down like that. This has the highest feasibility of success, especially if it's a 7-day challenge. So Premiere Pro copy paste plugin. Cool. There we go. We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Man, that's exciting. Whew. All right. Let's get rid of some of this. So this is I guess, who we're up against. Let's look at the features. They got made for editors who move fast, a lightweight panel extension for Adobe Premiere that eliminates friction in your workflow, instant clipboard pasting, copy and paste from anywhere, web screenshots, apps, and paste it directly into your chosen Premiere bin, no saving required. Set a prefix and get auto-incremented file names, universal format support, bin aware importing. Sends the image where it belongs, no dragging required, stay organized automatically. This seems pretty straightforward. All right, so I think next step would be to write the product requirements document. So let me just ask Claude. Please create a set of questions for me to now write a strong prompt to ask Claude Cowork. Core functionality, copy and paste from where? Paste into the timeline how? What image formats need to be supported? Should it handle multiple images at once? What should the default duration of a pasted image be? Okay, cool. Example prompt structure. Once you've answered the above, your prompt to Claude Code might look like... So, maybe let's start with core functionality. Core functionality involves copy and pasting from the Finder, from the browser, from screenshots, being able to copy an image by right-clicking, being able to Command Control Shift 4 on Macs and iOS devices. It should paste into the timeline, and it wherever your, I guess, cursor is, and I guess the default would be 5 seconds. We should be supporting PNG, JPEG, and any other, I guess, popular image formats. If this overcomplicates things, we can just stick to PNG and JPEG. Some images might be transparent backgrounds that could get picked up in the copy image. So if we can support that, that would be cool. It shouldn't handle multiple images at once, just one at a time. Technical environment, it should be for Premiere Pro, the latest versions. It should work from at least 2023 onwards. It should work on Mac and Windows, because on Windows you can right click and copy. On Mac you can use the shortcut. My coding experience is very introductory. I'm a non-technical dev, so Claude Code will have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Users should be able to interact with it by copying an image, whether it's by right-clicking and hitting copy on images, for example, or by Command Control Shift 4 and selecting an area to copy on Mac, and then coming into Premiere Pro with the plugin open, pasting it in by clicking a button, or they can do Command Shift V or Command V. The image is then pasted into Premiere Pro and they can work on it through there. I think there should be some settings that the user can configure. For example, what bin does the image get pasted into? And also a toggle for whether it should just be directly pasted into the timeline. Scope boundaries. This is a 7-day challenge, so we're trying to keep the plugin quite simple and just easy to use. The issue and problem we're trying to solve is also quite simple, so I don't think we're going to get too much scope creep. Planning to sell on a bunch of platforms that will accept digital products, such as Adobe's Marketplace, Gumroad, WAP, etc. Aiming for a price point that is below our competitors, which is $25 lifetime deal right now. I'm wondering if we could do a lifetime deal as well for $15 or maybe $10. And I don't know, maybe even a subscription of $3 a month or something. I don't know, just probably lifetime deal is the way to go. Users will install it by clicking a button on our website or something. Needs to be in a format that all Premiere Pro plugins are made in. Success criteria, how will you know if V1 is done? What's the single test? The success criteria is that I need to install it into my own Premiere Pro and use it. And if it's improving my own editing and I'm able to copy paste quite easily, then I think we've won. It needs to be easy to install. It needs to be super easy to set up, and people can just use it right away. The plugin should kind of show as like a tab that they can have open on their Premiere Pro. Kind of like you've got your effects tab, you've got your source, you've got your audio tabs, you've got your Luminex tab. You will also have this tab where it'll just be an icon, and you can paste in your file super easily. Now please turn this into a prompt for me to feed into Claude Code. There we go. What up, Hobbycar, Hobbyzar? Do you have any coding experience? No. I'm a marketer at heart. So now I'm just going to open up a Google Doc. I'm going to say this is the Claude Code prompt for the Premiere Pro plugin. Okay. So this is the prompt. Premiere Pro copy paste plugin Claude Code prompt. I'm building a Premiere Pro plugin called Clipboard Pro. Okay. Working title. That lets users copy paste images directly into their timeline. This solves a frustrating gap in Premiere Pro. Photoshop has this feature, but Premiere doesn't. Respect, I'm building websites with no experience and AI. What AIs do you use, LLMs and otherwise? I mean, I just use Claude Code. I used to use Replit because it was super easy, but recently I've just been using Conductor on Claude Code, which lets me have multiple agents running at the same time. Check out the last live stream where we kind of tested a bunch of different AIs. It's pretty good watch, I think. So we've got this now. So gap in Pro, Photoshop has this feature, but Premiere doesn't. I have 7 days to build this and get my first sale. I'm live streaming the entire process on YouTube. Please flag immediately if anything seems too complex for this timeline. What the plugin does, core functionality, users copy an image from anywhere on their computer, then paste it directly into Premiere Pro's timeline. That's it. Image source it needs to handle. Find a Mac, File Explorer, Windows, right-click copy. Web browsers, right-click copy. Screenshots, Mac Command Control Shift 4. Copies to clipboard, Windows Win Shift S, and any app that puts an image on the clipboard. What happens when they paste? Image appears at the playhead cursor position on the timeline. Default duration is 5 seconds. Image gets imported into a designated bin in the project panel. Supported formats, keep it simple. If others complicate things, but these two are fine. One image at a time. The plugin should appear as a panel tab in Premiere Pro, similar to effects. A paste button, visual feedback showing the image that's on their clipboard preview, simple settings section, how users trigger paste. Click the paste button in the panel or Command V, Command Shift, whatever is feasible without conflicting with Premiere's defaults. Which bin folder the imported image goes into. Toggle clip duration. Premiere Pro compatibility must work with Premiere Pro 2023 and newer, both Mac and Windows. I'm a non-technical founder, very introductory. Should be built using whatever the standard modern approach is for Premiere Pro extensions. Where I'll sell it. Success criteria. When I can install it on my Mac, I can copy a screenshot, open Premiere and paste it into my timeline with one click or shortcut. The image appears at my playhead position, takes less than 5 seconds from paste action to image appearing. A friend with Windows can also install and use it. What I need from you. Tell me which extension framework we could use. Give me a project structure and setup instructions. Let's build this iteratively. Start with the absolute minimum. Paste button that imports a clip image and add features one by one. Flag if anything. Questions I have is reading from the system clipboard into straightforward, or is this technical tricky? Are there any Adobe limitations I should know about? What's the simplest way to handle the installer for both Mac and Windows? Should we worry about coding signing, or will unsigned extensions work? Recommending with reasoning. Give me the initial project setup so I can start coding today. Please plan and please break down and plan how you want build this. There you go. There's my prompt. We're literally going to one-shot this into Claude Code. So I'm just going to copy this entire thing. And what we've done is this is basically the product requirements document. Planning mode with Claude Code is what we're doing now. Let's go ahead and quick start. I'm going to say Premiere Pro plugin. Create. Yo, Helios, how are we doing? Decided on IDE? Yeah, we're using Conductor. What up, HX? Yo. So, Opus 4.5, enable plan mode, why disable thinking? Please review the PRD the prompt pasted. So I'm going to I want some lo-fi beats back on. So I've read the prompt. This is a well-structured product requirements document for a Premiere Pro plugin called Clipboard Pro that enables copy-paste functionality for images into the timeline. Let me provide my review of this prompt. Clear prompt statement. The gap in Premiere Pro's functionality is well articulated. Limitations are explicit, one image at a time. Concrete success criteria. The 5-point checklist is testable and measurable. Realistic constraints. Good structure. Sections are logically organized. Command V is heavily used by Premiere Pro itself. Command Shift V is also used for paste insert. You'll likely need a custom shortcut like Command Option V, or rely solely on the panel button. Okay. Clipboard access complexity. Reading image data from the system clipboard in an extension is non-trivial, which can access the clipboard. Okay. CP is being deprecated by Adobe, but is more mature and has better clipboard access capabilities. UXP is the future, but has limitations for this use case. This is a critical decision point. Clipboard images different handle. This adds complexity. Reading system, clipboard images. Add suggestions. Add a fallback plan. What's the MVP if clipboard access proves difficult? File picker instead of clipboard. Would you like me to provide more detailed technical analysis on any specific area, or do you have questions about the review? The plugin has to support copy and pasting, because if it's a file picker, then Premiere Pro can do that already. So let me know what you think the best suggestion is on CEP versus UXP, and give me an in-depth breakdown on how you plan to build this app for me to approve, and we can kind of mature from the planning stage. What up, Abaz? How we doing? You're right, the clipboard functionality is the core value proposition. Let me research the CEP versus UXP decision and create a detailed implementation plan. Welcome to the stream, Buzz. We'll probably release a video around how I guess the breakdown of the entire ideation of this. So look out for that. It'll just cut out all the ums and ahs. Get rid of Claude now. So this is our competitor, right? Open the clipboard panel. So that looks like this is what our competitor does anyway. Now I have a clear picture. Let me create a detailed implementation plan for you. Why you don't make a video about the airdrops? You can advise onto this. I mean, I talk about the airdrop every single live stream, bro. I literally tell you guys every single live stream since the day one. I've been talking about this airdrop. So, I mean, I could definitely make a video about it for sure, but I do talk about it a lot. So the poll looks like Premiere plugin wins. 75 hard for women came second. Article to audio came third. Next, okay, so we've got this. Let's have a look. Okay. MVP by day 4. Honestly, let's try and get it by day 1, man. UXP plug panel. So what I can do is, while this works on, I guess, the plugin itself, I can create a new space here that works on the landing page. Is clipboard access straightforward? UXP has a clipboard API, but image support is new, medium risk. Package format, double click to install. No image on clipboard, show message. Plugin loads into Premiere Pro 25.6. Minimum viable product. Okay. Looks good. Looks pretty solid. Not gonna lie, I don't know what an airdrop is. Hey, new to this channel. What up, MJ? How we doing? Hobby Star. So if you're wondering what an airdrop is, basically in crypto, I've got like over close to a decade of experience in crypto now, investing and also building. And an airdrop is one of the ways that crypto platforms actually promote their apps. So because everything requires you to have a wallet, a crypto wallet, it's really easy to know, this user owns this wallet. So imagine Starbucks giving you a free coffee, right? They have a loyalty program. Every 10 coffees you order, you get a free coffee. Now, picture Starbucks actually allowed you to, every 10 coffee orders, you actually ended up getting a share of their company. This is really hard to implement in real world because they don't know your wallet address. They don't know your stock account. It's really hard to implement. But in crypto, it's really easy. And this has become a viral marketing tactic because really popular platforms that generate a lot of revenue also say or speculate that they'll give out an airdrop to their users, and based on certain metrics, if you're a power user and you've done like $100,000 in volume through their platform, they'll be like, yeah, you get this amount of tokens that we're providing. And this basically incentivizes the users to use the platform because they're going to get a share of the company, and the company also gets more users because users know that their activity is going to be rewarded. So an airdrop is essentially the act of a company giving a user their tokens. And so I got an airdrop and it amounted, after selling everything, to around $34,000. So that just about wraps up the live stream. We've come up with the list of app ideas. We've researched the market size, difficulty, competitors. We wrote the product requirements document, and we've gone into planning mode with Claude Code. So tomorrow we're actually going to build the thing, and hopefully we can even get the MVP ready tomorrow. But yeah, that's kind of it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll hang around for a minute. W stream, brother. Appreciate you, Blues. Glad you had a good time. Helios, I did read your message. I think. You have a date with the major in my town of my project. Is that the message you're talking about? What project you got building? But yeah, thanks for joining in, guys. I like kind of doing more technical live streams or walkthroughs like this. it's kind of hard when you're doing the series because it doesn't actually support as much technical kind of walkthrough. So I've been enjoying the free time that you get when the app is submitted and in review. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you tomorrow, same time, 8 a.m. Australia time, Sydney time. I stream every single day. Peace out. Bye.